Hey guys, so in this video I want to talk about Shaman. This is going to be my first video that's, I guess, kind of even sort of a rant, so I want to make a disclaimer right now that this is like just after streaming and losing a lot of games, and I did some testing after, so yeah, disclaimer. So what I want to talk about is the fact that Shaman could actually possibly be even stronger than before the round of nerfs. After the nerfs, actually Ran made a tweet that Shaman is stronger than before. I replied with something like like LOL, no way, you're crazy. But after doing some soul searching and looking at some stats from meta reports, looking at tournament deck lists, looked at other people's streams, and my own personal experience, I'm actually finding this statement to be less and less outrageous, and I guess I just want to talk about why this actually could be true. So I think the reason why that this might be true is the problem is there's still no other tempo decks that can compete with Shaman post-nerf. And by removing Tuskar Totemic in Midrange Shaman for like just greedier cards versus control, like Bloodlust or more Fire Elementals, Ragnaros, Harrison Jones, Shaman still stands as basically the king of the meta. It kind of feels like a whole archetype that did do pretty well against Shaman doesn't do well against Shaman anymore, which was like the mid-range tempo decks with Yogg, like Malygos Druid and Tempo Mage. The Yogg nerf is actually very noticeable against mid-range Shaman, and those decks seem a lot weaker. Your control decks right now are tuning insanely anti-Shaman to stand a chance, which is why I see Warrior decks running like almost no threats nowadays, and you see like so many people bringing Warrior decks with even Yogg Saran, even though it's not even, they don't even run that many spells, and it doesn't kind of even make sense because like it mills themselves, like where's a Fatigue deck and Yogg mills themselves. It's just, Shaman's so good that they're bringing Yogg just to be more anti-Shaman. Reno Warlock is actually a deck I tested extensively against Shaman, and I thought originally that, I think Control is usually pretty good against mid-range Shaman. I thought it would be good, run a lot of AoE, but it turns out Shaman has too many rounds of board floods, and even one unanswered board is game over to Bloodlust, and one unanswered Thunder Bluff is game over in a couple turns. The point is, even if Thunder Bluff doesn't kill you, like, one unanswered Thunder Bluff can actually grind out Draxus. You can grind out Elites, like Post Monkey, I guess Thunder Bluff is so powerful that these kind of like late game trumps where, so say you burn all your removal and your AoE because they have so many rounds, then they play one, just like a simple Thunder Bluff hero power, then you play like a Monkey or a Draxus, you can't even beat that. Like, so I've dropped like 4 minions against that and still lost, like, one Lightning Storm, another hero power. It's like, it's actually pretty crazy. I think the Rockbiter switch to Lightning Bolt is actually not very significant versus Control, because mid-range Shaman generally only ran one Alakir, and that was like a very rare thing to see, like Alakir Rockbiter. I mean, I believe that Aggro Shaman is dead, but I'm just mostly talking about mid-range for now, so yeah, Rockbiter hurts the Aggro Shaman more, but for mid-range, I think it's fairly insignificant. I think the change for Rockbiter to Lightning Bolt is more significant when you're playing another tempo deck, but like I was saying earlier, there really aren't any other tempo decks that compete with mid-range Shaman very well right now still. Doesn't really help that a lot of the mid-range Shamans are running like 4 AoEs with 2 Maelstrom Pearls, 2 Lightning Storms, so it's really hard to play stuff like even like Egg Paladin, things like that, where you would think that would really stomp mid-range Shaman. They just have so many AoE too. I think the underlying problem is that hero powering for mid-range Shaman is like really powerful at the moment. One hero power, just like think of all the synergies hero power has. One hero power for Shaman has synergy with Spirit Claws, it has synergy with Thunder Bluff, it has synergy with Flame Tongue, Thing from Below, Primal Fusion, Totemic Might. Might even be more, not saying all these cards are in every deck. Sometimes you don't see Primal Fusion, Totemic Might, but sometimes you do as well. So like, I guess the underlying problem is that hero power is too good. I think that Thing from Below in particular is a very, very problem card. I like the playstyle of like Spirit Claws with hero powering and being able to snowball that hero power with like Flame Tongue Tome. I think that's a fairly healthy playstyle, but when you add too many things, it just, I guess what I feel like is that hero power should be like an okay tempo play for these kind of decks that have a lot of synergy, you know, like so before Midrange Paladin with Quartermaster and stuff, before, you know, Midrange Shaman, before all the buffs, like when Shaman wasn't so crazy. It's like you can make a 2-mana hero power, and it's like an okay move, but you know, it's not great. It's not, you know, it's not too good, it's not too bad. At this point, I feel like hero powering almost seems like putting undue pressure on the enemies right now with hero power. Like, you know, every time a Midrange Shaman hero powers, it's like they're playing like a 3/2 for 2 mana every turn. It's like that much tempo. It's like crazy how powerful the hero power is every turn. And when you have that dynamic where like the hero power is both like the strongest tempo play and the strongest value play, since it costs you nothing, you know, you're just clicking your hero power, and that becomes like a strong tempo play as well. I think is largely due to Thing from Below. You know, you always get the 1 mana cheaper from Things from Below, so every time you use a hero power, it's almost like drawing a coin as well. If you have 2 Things from Below, it's like drawing an Innervate. So and plus, you know, they're hard to kill a lot for a lot of classes unless you have board control. It's like hard to take board control from Shaman nowadays. I think Things from Below is incredibly punishing for other tempo decks, so other mid-range decks like that, or even aggro decks, because you know, when you're playing tempo versus tempo, when you have 0 mana 5/5s, that's the most amount of tempo you can possibly have. I don't think any other class can cheat stuff like that much, so I think Things from Below is just too crazy. I don't know, I guess I'm almost done ranting, but yeah, maybe Rana was right. Maybe Shaman is stronger than before, or just as good, if anything. And I think if anyone from Blizzard looks at this video, or if anything, community, I think they strongly might even need another balance patch before the next expansion, which is actually crazy that it would need 2 balance patches for one class. But I think at this rate, it's like the game is kind of, it feels very unhealthy, and I think the card I would really target is Thing from Below somehow, because Thing from Below is like, every time I want to play, like, you know, some kind of like Exhaust Pally or whatever, something like that, some kind of like, you know, Beast Druid, every time I make a deck, it's like, oh, I think about 0 mana 5/5, 0 mana 5/5, and then the fact that I don't think I can be ahead of Shaman even before the 0 mana 5/5. I think it'll be a very, very close grind, just because their hero power is so good. You know, they click that hero power just as good as you playing like a 2 mana 3/2 every time pretty much, and then combined at the end with like those like turn 5 0 mana 5/5s, I'm like, okay, this is probably not gonna beat Shaman. I've even tested some of these decks. So yeah, that's the end of my rant, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think.